"Ma'am, the lounge is for invited guests." Dr. Maya Ellison looked at the velvet rope, then at the VIP host smiling behind it. "I know," Maya said. "That is why I'm here." Celeste Ward laughed softly, the kind of laugh meant for the whole first-class line. "Sweetheart, this card looks like something you found under a seat." A few passengers chuckled. 2 phones rose. Maya held out the black access card. "Scan it on the left reader." Celeste glanced at Maya's damp sneakers, her plain coat, and the old brown luggage tag on her suitcase. "Open the right door." "Let's settle this," Celeste said, and slapped the card against the wrong scanner. 3 deep beeps rolled through Terminal C. Every departure screen blinked. Glass doors sealed. A red strip of light traveled across the ceiling. Celeste's tablet went black, then showed one message. "Root Custodian event detected. Containment Protocol C-17 active." Then, Maya's name appeared on the overhead display. Dr. Maya Ellison, Chief Executive Officer, Astrogate Systems, Authorized Security Audit Lead. The laughter died so quickly it almost made a sound. Maya held out her hand. "Now," she said, "scan the woman, not your opinion." 3 hours earlier, Maya had arrived at Riverton International through the public drop-off lane, not the private security entrance her board chair kept begging her to use. Rain blew sideways across the curb. Taxi tires hissed over black pavement. Suitcases clicked over concrete seams. Above the sliding doors, Terminal C glowed blue through the storm. Maya stepped out of a rideshare with 1 suitcase, 1 laptop bag, and a paper cup of tea she had not had time to drink. The driver glanced at the terminal, then at her. "You sure this is the right drop?" "Yes," Maya said. "This is the right door." He smiled like he did not understand, but wanted to be kind. She tipped him through the app, pulled up her hood, and walked into the current of travelers. Nobody turned. That was useful. Riverton served 40 million passengers a year. Most people saw the glass ceiling, the bright restaurants, the perfume stores, the gate agents smiling through stress. Maya saw the body underneath: badge readers, door controllers, temporary credentials, vendor routes, panic relays, delayed logs moving through servers in rooms without windows. 16 months earlier, her company, Astrogate Systems, had rebuilt Riverton's access control network after a dead employee badge opened secure doors for 3 weeks before anyone noticed. The airport board called it modernization. Maya called it what it was. The old system had stopped asking the simplest question: who is actually at this door? That morning was supposed to answer another question. Why were valid travelers being denied at one premium lounge, then described in reports as confused, hostile, or fraudulent? Maya had read the complaints herself. Too many were closed with soft corporate phrases, unable to reproduce, resolved without escalation. Guest became verbally assertive. One name appeared too often: Celeste Ward. At 11, Maya was scheduled to meet Deputy Director Marisol Chen from Airport Security and the Board Audit Committee. Marisol had already warned her that the review would be uncomfortable. Maya had answered that comfortable doors were usually the ones hiding the rot. But before the formal meeting, Maya wanted 1 hour on the floor, without escorts, cameras, or title cards. She wanted to see what the door did when nobody important seemed to be watching. That lesson came from her mother. Leona Ellison had worked airport gates for 27 years in a blue jacket with brass buttons she polished every Sunday night. She could calm a furious honeymooner, find a lost child, and hear a fake apology from 3 counters away. She believed gate agents held more power than executives because they met people at the edge of leaving and arriving. "People come to airports carrying their whole lives," Leona used to say. "A ticket is paper. A person is not." When Maya was 15, a premium lounge manager at another airport mistook Leona for cleaning staff during a holiday rush. He made her carry discarded plates in front of passengers while her own gate went understaffed. She reported it. The complaint disappeared. The manager got promoted. Leona came home that night and took off her name badge as if it weighed 5 pounds. Maya never forgot the sound it made on the kitchen table. Years later, when Astrogate began designing systems for airports, Leona gave Maya the brown leather luggage tag. It had belonged to Maya's grandfather, who fixed locks in Savannah. 4 words were pressed into the leather. Open the right door. From a hospital bed, breath thin and eyes still sharp, Leona closed Maya's hand around it. Do not build doors that obey arrogance, she whispered. Build doors that ask for proof. Maya promised. That promise had changed 3 decisions already that morning, before Celeste ever touched the card. It made Maya refuse an escort. It made her observe before announcing herself. It made her swallow anger when the first traveler was mistreated, because a single rude employee could be dismissed and replaced while the system behind her stayed clean. Maya had not come to win an argument. She had come to catch a pattern. At 7:42, she crossed the departure hall and heard the first wrong sound. Most travelers never notice badge readers. They live at the edge of attention, little black rectangles blinking beside doors. But Maya had written the tone logic for Riverton's new network. 1 clean beep meant valid. 2 quick beeps meant expired. A low buzz meant forced read. Beside a coffee stand, an employee corridor gave a valid beep with a clipped tail. Wrong enough to matter. A catering worker in a gray vest slipped through carrying 2 crates of bottled water. The reader blinked green, but the panel above it showed a tiny amber flicker before settling. Maya typed 1 note into her phone. C-17 reader, duplicate credential echo, Terminal C East Service Corridor, 7:42. She did not touch the reader. She did not call Marisol. Not yet. Astorgate had been called back to Riverton because of complaints buried under polite language. Premium access staff had been overriding lounge and service doors after denying travelers whose credentials later proved valid. The official explanation was training confusion. The pattern looked uglier, names misread, accents mocked, wheelchair users redirected, contractors accused of badge fraud, medical vouchers ignored, complaints closed before anyone had to ask what kind of person got believed at a velvet rope. Celeste Ward was the lead host at Sky Crown Lounge, though in emails she called it My Lounge. Her manager praised her for protecting brand atmosphere at the point of entry. Maya had printed that sentence and placed it in her folder. Protecting brand atmosphere. Her mother would have used fewer words. At 8:06, Maya took a table across from Sky Crown and watched Terminal C wake. Families pulled wet jackets off children. Business travelers moved in straight lines. A janitorial cart squeaked along the tile, smelling faintly of lemon and rainwater. The lounge sat above it all like a jewel box. Its velvet rope curved outward just enough to create a small stage. Celeste arrived at 8:13, cream blazer, tablet under one arm, airport badge clipped high. She paused to align the brass stanchion with a floor seam, then saw a young man in a wrinkled suit hovering near the reader with a temporary badge. Staff entrance is downstairs, she said. I'm Noah Park, he answered. Operations intern. I was told to report here for the premium access review. Celeste looked at his stained tie, his crooked badge, his backpack with one fraying strap. Adorable. Stand where guests cannot see you, Noah, and do not speak unless someone asks you a direct question. Noah flushed and backed into the shadow of a flight information column. Maya watched him. There it was, the small bruise institutions leave before the bigger one. At 8:19, Celeste opened the lounge. Her smile changed by category. It warmed for men with garment bags. It brightened for women wearing airline status tags. It cooled for anyone who needed to explain. A retired woman in a blue raincoat arrived with a burgundy suitcase and a phone in both hands. Her silver hair was braided into a crown. She moved carefully, not weakly. My daughter upgraded me, she said. She said I could wait here. Celeste glanced at the phone for less than a second. This is not active. This? It says active on my phone. In your phone, maybe. Not in our system. Could you scan it? Celeste's thumb hovered over the tablet. No scan tone sounded. Ma'am, I do not have time to troubleshoot every passenger who thinks a gift email is a membership. The older woman straightened. My daughter is a nurse. She worked extra shifts for this because my husband died last month and she did not want me sitting alone for 3 hours. Please scan it. The concourse hushed around those words. Celeste sighed. Denied. Maya knew the tablet had not scanned. Noah knew too. He stood near the column, writing something on the back of his hand. Maya stepped forward. Excuse me, your reader did not scan. Celeste turned slowly. And you are? A traveler who heard the scanner. Then travel. The older woman looked at Maya. Recognition flickered. Ellison, isn't it? My grandson showed me an article about an airport company. Maya gave the smallest shake of her head. Not for me. The woman understood enough to stop. Celeste did not. Oh, good. Friends. Maya kept her voice calm. Scan her pass again. Or what? Or you will have denied access without verifying the credential. Celeste lifted the tablet and addressed the line. For everyone waiting, I apologize. Some people become confused around premium services. That was Celeste's first chance to stop. She did not take it. She selected a reason code. Guest unable to validate entitlement. Maya wrote down 821. Noah wrote 2. At 9:02, the second chance arrived, wearing a black maintenance vest. A software contractor came to the rope with a work order on his phone. I have a router ticket inside the lounge cabinet. This cabinet feeds your reader logs. If I do not check it before 10, the archive delay gets worse. Celeste did not take the phone. You were already told no. My work order is linked to this door. Your work order can wait. No, it can't. Beside the coffee stand, the employee corridor gave that clipped green beep again, the tail cut short like a swallowed word. Maya looked at the service door. Noah heard it too. His pen stopped moving. Celeste did not hear a warning. She heard a worker challenging her stage. The lounge is not a server closet, she said. No, Maya answered. But every door in this terminal has a memory. Someone is slowing this one down. Celeste looked at the security officer near gate C12. His nameplate read, Evan Rusk, broad shoulders, bored eyes, one hand always close to his belt. Officer, Celeste said, we have an aggressive contractor refusing instructions. The contractor stepped back. I'm not aggressive. I'm trying to do my job. Evan moved closer. Sir, move along. Maya stepped toward the contractor. May I see your work order number? Celeste cut in. You may not. Maya looked at Evan. Officer, does Skycrown policy allow a lounge host to block scheduled maintenance without escalating to operations? Evan blinked. Celeste answered for him. Skycrown policy allows me to protect guest experience. Maya's voice stayed soft. From routers? No. A small laugh came from the line. Celeste's cheeks colored. Noah stepped forward half a pace. Celeste, the maintenance ticket is probably connected to the reader lag. Celeste snapped her eyes toward him. What did I say about speaking? Noah stopped. That was her second chance. She did not take it. At 9:34, the third chance came with a child holding a stuffed fox. A family rushed from gate C8, breathless. Their connection to Frankfurt boarded in 20 minutes. The mother held 3 lounge meal vouchers issued because the child had severe food allergies and the gate snacks were unsafe. Celeste opened one voucher on her tablet. For half a second, Maya saw the label. Medical accommodation. Then Celeste backed out of the screen. These are hospitality credits, she said, not lounge entry. Customer service told us the kitchen here has sealed meals, the mother said. The terminal has restaurants. She can't eat from open counters. Celeste looked at the child. Then you should plan better when traveling. The mother went white. Maya felt anger climb hot and clean. Enough. She moved to the rope. You saw the accommodation note. Celeste's eyes flicked up. I saw a family trying to turn a voucher into a privilege. Maya held up her black access card. My name is Dr. Maya Ellison. I am here for the Astrogate security audit at 11. Scan this credential on the left reader and contact airport operations. The name moved through the crowd. A murmur, a phone search, a lifted eyebrow. Celeste heard it. She had one last clear exit. She could scan. She could call command. She could ask Noah what he knew. Instead, she looked at Maya's wet sneakers and smiled. This is sad, she said. Then she reached for Maya's folder. Maya pulled it back, but the edge caught. Printed emails, complaint summaries, and audit pages fanned across the tile. Celeste looked down and saw her own name in black ink. Her expression changed from amused to cold. Maya crouched to gather the papers. Celeste placed one cream heel on the corner of an audit summary. "Careful," Maya said. Celeste leaned close. "No, you be careful. People who show up with fake authority in airports can have very bad mornings." The brown luggage tag had fallen from Maya's suitcase and landed near the brass stanchion. Celeste picked it up between two fingers. "Cute," she said. "Does every fake executive come with vintage props?" Maya's breath caught, not because of the insult, because of the memory of Leona's thin hand closing over hers. Build doors that ask for proof. Celeste flicked the tag. It skidded across the tile and stopped near Noah's shoe. Noah bent to pick it up. Celeste snapped, "Do not." He froze. Everyone saw the choice. Noah bent anyway. He picked up the tag, wiped a wet mark from the leather with his sleeve, and handed it to Maya. His hand shook, but he did it. Maya took it. "Thank you." Celeste stared at him. "You just made this your problem." Noah swallowed. Maybe it already was. That was the third chance. Celeste opened an incident form on her tablet. Subject: unknown. Female. Behavior: disruptive. Threat category: credential fraud. Action requested: security removal. "Do not submit that," Maya said. Celeste's thumb hovered over the button. "Or what?" "Or you will create a record you cannot explain." Celeste laughed once. "I explain people like you all day." She submitted the form. Evan stepped in front of Maya's suitcase. "Ma'am, come with me." "On what grounds?" "Disruption." "Who determined that?" He glanced at Celeste. Maya nodded. "That is what I thought." Phones were fully recording now. Celeste noticed and softened her face into concern. "Officer, she may have a stolen access card. I watched her present it as executive authorization." "That is false." "Is it false?" Maya said. Celeste held out her hand. "Then give it to me." "No." Celeste looked at Evan. "Confiscate it." Evan hesitated. Airport credentials were not lost umbrellas. But Celeste had the desk, the tablet, the blazer, the practiced certainty. Maya had damp shoes and papers on the floor. Power often decides what truth sounds like before truth speaks. Evan reached for the card. Maya stepped back. "Officer Rusk, I am instructing you not to touch my credential unless Airport Security Command authorizes seizure." Celeste smiled for the cameras. She is instructing him now. Evan's jaw tightened. He reached again. Maya let him take the card. That was the second decision the promise changed. Her pride wanted to close her fingers. Her mother's voice told her to preserve the record. Evan handed the card to Celeste. Celeste turned it under the lights. No name, no airline. "This is fake or stolen." Noah stepped forward. "It has a root stripe." Celeste's eyes flashed. "Noah." "It does," he said, quieter but audible. "Black matte stripe. That format is not guest-facing." "Are you certified to make that determination?" "No, but..." "Then stop." Maya looked at Noah. "Do you have read-only audit access to event logs?" He looked toward Celeste. "Yes. Use it. Save the original event stream." Celeste lunged for his tablet, but the older woman with the burgundy suitcase rolled forward just enough to block the path. "Oh," she said sweetly, "this old bag sticks." Celeste glared. "Move." The woman did not. Noah slipped behind the flight information column and began typing. Evan took Maya to a glass secondary screening enclosure near Gate C12. Not a cell. Not officially. Just a transparent box with a bench and a door that made people feel guilty when it clicked. Celeste made sure Maya's folder stayed outside. That was a mistake. Maya sat behind the glass and watched Celeste gather the pages. Celeste saw enough on the first sheet to understand danger. Complaint IDs, override times, her name beside too many of them. She angled her tablet away from the crowd. Delete, Maya thought. Noah looked up from the column at the same moment. Maya held his eyes and shook her head once. Not yet. He looked down again. Preserve first, accuse later. The false defeat settled over the concourse. Maya was behind glass. Power was down. Celeste had the card, the folder, the security officer, the podium, and the story. Passengers began to drift because injustice becomes harder to watch when it stops being entertainment. The family with the allergic child left for gate C8. The child's stuffed fox bounced against her mother's arm. Mrs. Reyes remained near the rope. The contractor remained near the service corridor, work order still glowing on his phone. Noah stayed at the column, pale and typing. Celeste leaned toward the podium microphone. For waiting guests, thank you for your patience. The situation is contained. Contained. Maya almost smiled. Celeste had no idea how close she was to the truth. At 10:03, the router problem became visible. A bartender came to the lounge entrance and whispered that international cards were failing. Celeste waved him away. Then the Wi-Fi panel behind the desk flickered amber. The contractor spoke up. That is my ticket. Celeste ignored him. Noah turned his tablet toward Maya through the glass. Not enough for cameras to see, enough for her to read. Local override queue active. Pending deletions 14. Maya tapped the glass twice and pointed down. Noah frowned, then saw the command at the bottom of his screen, export raw. He touched it. A time-stamped copy jumped to the audit archive before the local queue could erase itself. At 10:11, an assistant lounge manager arrived in a gray airport jacket. Celeste, she said, breathless, why am I getting calls about a credential dispute? Celeste's smile returned. Tanya, thank goodness. We have a woman presenting a fake executive card and disturbing premium passengers. Tanya Dell looked toward Maya in the glass box. Maya recognized her name. Tanya had forwarded 2 complaints upward and received no answer. Did you call security command? Tanya asked. Officer Rusk is handling it. I asked about command. Celeste's smile thinned. There was no need. Tanya saw the black card on the desk. What is that? A fake. Tanya reached for it. Celeste pulled it back. I have it logged. Maya stood inside the glass. Tanya, ask her to scan it on the left reader. Celeste snapped, do not engage with her. Tanya looked at Celeste, at the card, then at Noah, who looked like a man holding a live wire. Celeste, Tanya said, what is the harm in scanning it? The harm is rewarding this behavior. Maya watched Celeste turn the card over. There were 2 readers at the lounge entry. The left reader tied directly to airport access control. The right reader fed Skycrown's local guest database. Maya had told Celeste twice to use the left reader. Celeste, hungry to control the final image, chose the right one again. Before scanning, she opened a supervisor menu and selected manual classification, credential fraud, terminal threat, the most serious label on the menu. Maya saw it through the glass and closed her eyes for half a second. The trap was not hidden in Maya's card. It was hidden in Celeste's accusation. Riverton's new system allowed a host to deny a guest. It did not allow a host to call a root credential a terminal threat without command review. That rule existed because Maya had insisted on one simple principle after the dead badge scandal. A door should not obey panic from the least accountable person in the room. So when Celeste chose terminal threat and pressed Maya's card to the wrong scanner, the system did exactly what it had been built to do. It stopped trusting the host. 3 deep beeps rolled through Terminal C. The ceiling lights shifted red at the edges. The glass enclosure beside Maya clicked open from the inside. The door opened for Maya first. The system protected people before it protected evidence. Maya stepped out. No one stopped her. Celeste stared at the tablet. Root Custodian event detected. Containment Protocol C. -17 active. Local overrides preserved. Security command notified. From the lounge ceiling came a series of muted clicks. The frosted doors sealed. Inside, guests looked up from leather chairs and champagne flutes. Down the concourse, service corridor shutters lowered to half height and stopped. Gate agents turned toward their screens. A recorded voice spoke over Terminal C. Attention! Terminal C is under temporary access control containment. Please remain in public areas and follow airport staff instructions. Flights are not canceled. The crowd around Sky Crown went silent. Celeste found her voice. This is a malfunction. Maya walked to the desk and held out her hand. My card. Celeste did not give it back. Evan moved as if to block Maya, then stopped. His radio was talking all at once. C-12, confirm containment origin. Command to premium access. Identify Root Custodian. Operations to all units. Do not reset local readers. Tanya whispered, Oh no. Maya looked at Celeste. You manually classified a root credential as a terminal threat. I classified you. That is worse. Noah emerged from behind the column with his tablet in both hands. I exported the raw event stream before deletion. Celeste turned on him. You are done here. No, Maya said. He is protected as an audit witness. You do not have authority to say that. Maya took the card from Celeste's hand. This time, Celeste let go. I do. Maya placed the card against the left reader. The scanner lit white. A prompt appeared on the overhead lounge display. Not in gold, not in brand colors, but in plain black letters. Root Custodian. Identity challenge. Open the right door. The luggage tag swung once from Maya's suitcase. The old words sat on leather. The new words sat on glass. Maya answered in a voice everyone could hear. Or don't open it at all. The system accepted the phrase. Her name appeared on the display again. Dr. Maya Ellison, Chief Executive Officer, Astergate Systems, Authorized Security Audit Lead. The silence changed. Before, it had been curious. Now it was ashamed. The boys lowered their phones. The man in the navy suit looked at his shoes. Mrs. Reyes smiled once, not with triumph, but with recognition. Celeste went very still. You are the vendor CEO, she said. Maya looked at her. No, I am the person you refused to verify. That did more damage than any title could have. A door opened near gate C-10. 4 people entered against the staring flow. At the front was Marisol Chen, Riverton's Deputy Director of Airport Security. Small, precise, moving fast enough that officers stepped aside before she asked. Behind her came 2 audit committee members and a systems technician carrying a sealed diagnostic kit. Marisol stopped at the lounge entrance and took in the scene. Red containment lights, sealed lounge, crowd, Celeste pale behind the podium, Noah with a tablet, Maya with the root card. Dr. Ellison, Marisol said, are you safe? Yes. Was the root card taken from you? Maya looked at Evan. Evan swallowed. Yes, Maya said, by Officer Rusk at Ms. Ward's request. Marisol turned to him. Badge. Deputy Director. Badge. He removed it slowly. Marisol passed it to the technician. Suspend field authority pending review. He remains on site as a witness, not security. Evan's face drained. Celeste found anger because fear had nowhere else to go. This is absurd. She caused a lockdown because I protected a private lounge. Marisol looked at her. A containment event is not caused by a person being denied champagne. It is caused by an access control rule being triggered. We will determine why. Maya nodded toward Noah. He preserved the raw logs. Noah held out the tablet. Celeste stepped toward him. The device belongs to Sky Crown. Marisol stepped between them. Now it is evidence under airport security review. The word evidence cooled the room. The technician connected a portable console to the left reader. Lines of text scrolled. Maya watched timestamps appear. The first record appeared, 8:21. Alma Reyes, valid hospitality upgrade. Manual denial, no scan performed. Mrs. Reyes put one hand over her mouth. That one line changed the room more than an argument could have. She had not misunderstood her daughter's gift. She had not been confused. The door had never judged her ticket at all. Celeste had. Then came the contractor's work order. Valid. Then the medical voucher. Valid. Then Maya's root card, marked as a terminal threat before command had ever been called. Celeste said, those are out of context. Maya turned. Then provide the context. Celeste's mouth opened. No words came. The technician scrolled farther. Local override history, 90 days. Rows filled the screen. Not 1, not 14, 76. Manual denial, manual threat note, guest disruptive, credential questionable, appearance inconsistent with premium access, possible loitering, redirected, unable to validate entitlement. Noah looked like someone had confirmed the shape of a nightmare he had been afraid to name. Marisol's voice sharpened. Export all. Preserve video from lounge cameras, concourse cameras, tablet screen capture, and reader metadata. Chain it under audit seal. The technician nodded. Celeste gripped the podium. You cannot parade internal records in front of passengers. You did, Maya said. Celeste looked at her. You used your tablet to create public stories about private people, Maya continued. Now the record gets to speak in the same room. Marisol turned to the crowd. For privacy, passenger names will not be displayed beyond immediate witnesses. Step back from the screens. Anyone who recorded the interaction may preserve video and provide it to airport security. Several phones lowered. A few stayed up, steadier now, less hungry. Maya respected that. This was not about turning victims into content. It was about proof. Inside the lounge, a man in a linen jacket knocked on the glass. Excuse me, my flight board's in 30 minutes. Marisol did not turn. Then you should be glad we are making sure doors work. At 10:31, the payment terminal inside the lounge failed completely. The contractor raised his eyebrows. Router cabinet. Marisol looked at Maya. Maya nodded. Let him in with escort. His ticket was valid. The service door unlocked after command authorization. The contractor entered with the technician, opened the small router cabinet in the lounge wall, and found a bypass patch cable jammed into the wrong port. Who touched this? He asked. A bartender pointed at Noah. Celeste had him move something yesterday, said the reader reports were slowing the tablet. Noah went pale. She told me to move the cable from port 4 to port 6. The contractor pulled up the map. Port 4 sends reader events direct to airport archive. Port 6 mirrors local tablet traffic. Moving this delayed the archive feed. Marisol's eyes moved to Celeste. Celeste lifted her chin. I am not a technician. No, Maya said, but you gave a technical instruction that weakened evidence preservation. I was fixing slow service. You were bypassing the door's memory. The phrase landed hard because it sounded like Leona. A door's memory. That was what logs were. Memory for places powerful people expected to forget. The contractor restored the cable. A backlog began syncing. More entries appeared, each tied to a device, a time, a user, a camera angle. Maya asked the technician to open tablet screen capture. Celeste whispered, no. It was the first honest thing she had said. The screen showed Celeste's actions from the morning. Mrs. Reyes's pass held under the camera for less than a second. No scan command. Manual denial. The family voucher opened. No scan. Manual denial. The vendor badge appeared. Aggressive contractor selected before Evan was called. Then Maya. Unknown female. Disruptive. Credential fraud. The technician froze the frame before Celeste selected terminal threat. Maya pointed. Open the classification menu. The drop-down appeared. Lost card, expired card, name mismatch, needs command review, fraud suspected, terminal threat. Needs command review is available, Maya said. No one spoke. She chose terminal threat because it allowed immediate removal without command delay. Celeste's voice came thin. That is standard practice. Marisol looked at Tanya. Tanya's face had gone gray. No, Tanya said. It is not. Celeste turned. Tanya. The assistant manager looked at Maya, Noah, Mrs. Reyes, the contractor, and the sealed lounge doors filled with staring guests. I told Regional this was happening, Tanya said. Twice. I said manual threat codes were being used for access disputes. They told me Celeste's customer scores were excellent. Celeste's mouth hardened. You resent me because you were passed over. Tanya laughed without humor. I resent cleaning up after you. There it was. The system behind the person. Maya had been waiting for it. Deputy Director Chen, she said, Astergate requests full preservation of management communications related to premium access overrides, including regional responses to Ms. Dell's warnings. Granted, Marisol said. Airport Legal will issue preservation notices. At 10:44, the regional Skycrown manager called Celeste's tablet. The name flashed on the screen, Julian Voss. Maya had seen his name in the complaint file, copied on Tanya's unanswered emails. Celeste grabbed the tablet like a rope. Julian, there has been a systems malfunction and an unauthorized vendor has created a public disruption. Marisol held out her hand. Speaker. Celeste hesitated. Marisol did not repeat herself. Celeste put the call on speaker. A polished, irritated voice filled the desk. Celeste, what is going on? I'm getting containment notices and social clips. Tell me this is not another denial incident. Another. Maya looked at Marisol. Julian continued, not yet knowing who could hear him. I told you to keep those codes clean until after the promotion review. Do not put anything ugly in writing today. Mrs. Reyes whispered, Lord. Celeste hit mute too late. The crowd had heard it. Marisol had heard it. The evidence system had heard it. Maya felt the last piece click into place. The antagonist's own tablet, her own classification, her own regional manager, her own attempt to control the story. There was no thunder. There did not need to be. Marisol took the tablet. Mr. Voss, this is Deputy Director Marisol Chen, Riverton Airport Security. You are on a recorded line preserved under an active access control containment event. Identify your location and remain available for airport legal. The silence on the other end was complete. Then Julian said, I think we need counsel. Yes, Marisol said. You do. Celeste sat down behind the podium as if her knees had misplaced their purpose. For a moment, Maya saw not a monster, but a person who had mistaken borrowed power for identity. That did not excuse anything. It explained the terror in Celeste's face as the borrowed power left. Humiliation reversed was not repair. It was only a door opening. Marisol turned to Maya. Dr. Ellison, containment can be narrowed. Do you authorize transition to monitored access? Maya looked down the terminal. Passengers waited with the strained patience of people who had flights, funerals, meetings, honeymoons, custody exchanges, and ordinary lives beyond this polished doorway. A full lockdown would punish people who had done nothing. Yes, Maya said. No. Narrow the zone to Skycrown Lounge, adjacent service corridor, and premium entry systems. Public gates continue. The technician entered the command. Red lights dimmed in the distance, staying only around the lounge. Shutters lifted. The terminal exhaled. A few people clapped, not loudly, more from released tension than celebration. Celeste looked at Maya. You could have done that earlier. Maya met her eyes. So could you. The first consequence came before 11. Marisol suspended Celeste's premium access authority pending investigation, not fired on the spot for spectacle. Suspended, logged, escorted away from control systems, removed from the door. It struck where it should. Celeste had built herself out of permission to deny permission. Now, she could not open a supply closet. Tanya Dell received temporary operational control, but Marisol made clear that temporary did not mean trusted. Tanya would cooperate with the audit, provide prior emails, and identify everyone who ignored them. The second consequence came through airport legal. Skycrown's authority to use manual threat codes in Terminal C was frozen. Every denial now required command review until an independent audit finished. The third consequence was quieter. Officer Evan Rusk's field privileges were suspended pending conduct review because he seized a credential without command authorization and relied on a lounge employee's label instead of airport procedure. No one was punished for spectacle. Maya preferred that kind of justice. It lasted longer. By early afternoon, the public drama had become procedure. Terminal C looked almost normal again. That was the strange thing about airports. They swallowed disruption. A gate delay became a boarding call. A crowd became a line. An event that changed someone's life became background noise under the next announcement. But around Skycrown, normal had not returned. The velvet rope was gone. Tanya carried it behind the desk herself, both hands around the brass posts, as if they were heavier than metal and fabric. Then she printed a temporary sign and taped it where staff would see it before touching the tablet. Verify before you deny. The wording was not elegant. It did not need to be. Mrs. Reyes came beside Maya with her burgundy suitcase. They finally scanned my pass, she said. And? Valid, of course. They offered me the lounge. Did you accept? I did. Her eyes twinkled. I used their clean restroom and ate their almonds with great dignity. Maya laughed for the first time all day. Then Mrs. Reyes touched her suitcase handle. My daughter wanted me comfortable, she said. That woman made me feel like comfort was something I had stolen. Maya's laughter faded. I am sorry. I know. Mrs. Reyes looked at the temporary sign, but sorry is a small umbrella. It helps only if someone builds a roof. Maya turned to her. Mrs. Reyes smiled. My husband used to say things like that. Drove me crazy for 50 years. What was his name? Mateo. Maya repeated it. Mateo. A name deserved air. Mrs. Reyes nodded at the brown luggage tag. Who gave you that? My mother, Leona. Oh, then let Leona and Mateo share credit today. Maya blinked against the sting in her eyes. Across the concourse, the mother with the allergic child approached the lounge with a gate agent. Tanya came out from behind the desk herself, scanned the voucher, verified the sealed meal, and crouched to speak to the child at eye level. The girl hugged the stuffed fox and nodded. No spectacle, no grand apology over speakers. Just the basic dignity of someone doing the next right thing in a place where the last person had not. Concrete repair begins like that. With a scan, with a meal, with someone bending down. Before boarding, Maya stopped once more across from Sky Crown. Tanya scanned 3 people in a row. Green, green, amber. On amber, she did not sigh. She did not accuse. She called command review and said, "We are checking the record, not judging you." The traveler's shoulders dropped when the credential cleared. Maya touched the old luggage tag, opened the right door. For the first time all day, the words did not feel like a command. They felt like an answer. At 7:40, Maya finally boarded her own delayed flight. She took seat 14A, not first class, because the booking had been last minute and airline inventory had defeated her assistant. The man in 14B recognized her from the terminal display and became fascinated by the safety card. Maya did not mind. She placed her suitcase overhead, kept her laptop bag under the seat, and held the root card for a moment before sliding it into its sleeve. The flight attendant came by. Long day? Maya smiled. Door trouble. The flight attendant laughed politely and moved on. As the plane pushed back, Maya looked through the rain-streaked window at Terminal C. From this angle, the lounge was just another bright rectangle in a wall of bright rectangles. No velvet rope visible, no cream blazer, no crowd, just doors. Before takeoff, her phone buzzed with a message from Marisol. Initial review confirms improper denial pattern. More tomorrow. Also, Noah asked whether protected witnesses can apply for airport compliance fellowships. I said yes. Maya smiled. Then another message came from an unknown number. This is Alma Reyes. My daughter says I should not text strangers, but I told her you are not a stranger after a lockdown. Mateo would have liked Leona. Eat dinner. Maya laughed softly enough that the man in 14B risked a glance. She typed back. I will. Safe flight, Mrs. Reyes. The plane turned toward the runway. For the first time all day, Maya let herself feel tired, not victorious. Tired. Victory ends a scene. Repair starts the work. Tomorrow there would be lawyers, statements, board concerns, social clips, angry emails, and strangers deciding she had done too much or not enough. There would be travelers to contact, employees to retrain, software to patch, and managers who suddenly remembered they had always supported fairness. But tonight, one door had remembered. The engines rose. Maya closed her eyes. She heard again the 3 deep beeps, the sound that frightened a terminal into telling the truth. She heard Celeste laugh. She heard Noah say, maybe it already was. She heard Mrs. Reyes ask for 1 scan. She heard her mother's name inside every good thing that happened after. Leona. The plane lifted. Riverton fell away in lines of light and wet pavement, and Terminal C became small enough to fit behind Maya's thumb. Before that card ever touched the scanner, everyone in line had a choice. They could protect their own comfort, or they could protect the truth long enough for the record to survive. In the comments, tell me which choice you think changes a room faster: speaking up, saving evidence, or refusing to laugh. This story is a fictional dramatization. The people, companies, airport, and events are invented, but the question is real anywhere a gatekeeper mistakes their power for proof.